Hey guys, welcome back to Embrace Heart. Today, we're going to talk about awareness versus action. Is one more important, or do they kind of work together? Let's discuss. See, what brought me onto this topic is something we've been doing for a couple of years now, which is movements and challenges. See, movements are making a statement about something. You want the world to know, and so you make a statement saying, hey, this is a movement we're starting because we want to make a change in this area. Or a challenge and saying, hey guys, we're doing these certain things. We challenge you to do these certain things, good or bad, because we want you to know about this. And we want to make a change. So, what does that do, or what does that help? Well, it helps by making you aware. I know when the End movement started, it's letting us know, hey, there is more slaves in this world than there's ever been in recorded history. Sex slavery is the highest it's ever been. It's time to make a change. It's time to end this. The End It movement. And so we would take pictures and we had the X on our fist and we would take a selfie and put hashtag End It movement, and we've made a change. We've made people aware. What about challenges? I remember the ice bucket challenge and how that was a really big deal, and how you threw water filled with ice on top of your head. You challenged other people to do the same, but in doing that, you get to donate to a charity of your choice. And so I remember I gave to the Ronald McDonald House because I knew I could actually give money there. I could actually give money to the Ronald McDonald House. It's really easy. I just go to the nearest McDonald's and I put $10 in their little place where you can donate to Ronald McDonald. It's right in front of the cash register. Really easy. And I remember I did that, and that was easy for me to do. But I know a lot of people did like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, where you make people aware of this disease called ALS. If you don't know what ALS is, it's a horrible disease where your body just stops working. And your brain's working fine, but your muscles stop working, your legs, it's horrible. And you eventually just die as a vegetable. And the reason that it's such a big deal is that even though there's not many people who are going through this disease, that main reason is the cause there's not enough research to help prevent this from happening and hurting these people. And so you want to be aware of these things. And being aware is good. But if all we are is aware and we don't do nothing about it, don't we as Christians fail? I think in our society we've given ourselves an excuse to not take action because we simply put a post to make people aware. And some of the things we do as challenges aren't really good, like the Ice Bucket Challenge or the End It movement. Burning the American flag challenge, the Don't Judge Me challenge, which would sound like a good thing, but it's really just demeaning towards people who maybe feel low about themselves. These aren't good challenges. And I've seen movements before that aren't good movements. There's people flying out of the country to be a part of things like ISIS. That's not a good movement. That's a bad movement. Being aware of something isn't always enough. Sometimes we need to take action. Instead of doing the Don't Judge Me challenge, better yet, go actually meet someone who actually struggles with their appearance. Become a friend to them. Be kind to them. Encourage them. Instead of burning the American flag, how about we go shake a military member's hand and say thank you? And maybe realize that we live in a country, even though it definitely has problems, that there's a lot of things we can do that no other country can because of where we live. And it's good to put things like the End It movement. It's good to make people aware of slavery. But I think as Christians we should do a lot more. To as big as praying for them, to as small as maybe sending money into ministries that are and foundations that are trying to help people get out of sex slavery and get out of slavery in general, to stop illegal prostitution rings. There's things we can do. We can go to the red light districts. We can go to the pink light districts. We can go share the gospels with these people. I remember when the Ice Bucket Challenge happened, there was a lot of people that did for ALS, but the problem is that they didn't follow through with what they said. They said they would give money, and they never did. God has called us to do a lot more. But one of the biggest problems as Christians is not movements or challenges. It's simply something God's challenged us to do 2,000 so years ago, and that's called sharing the gospel. It's something we are aware of, and it's something that we know, but it's something we don't do very much. We don't follow through with what God's called us to do. God says, share the good news, make disciples, share my name among the nations. And I think as Christians, I think we like to talk about it during church, and we like to be aware of it. We're aware of these things. We're aware of the seriousness of the fact of what happens if someone's not saved. And we say, I'm aware that's enough. And it doesn't really matter where you stand as far as salvation is concerned, if it's more of a Calvinism type belief with election, or if it's more of an Arminian side where you have the freedom of choice. It really doesn't matter, because it's really about what God says. And when it comes to us and the gospel, what does God say? God says to go. And God says to tell. Romans 10, 14 through 15. I think gives the best answer when it comes to what we need to do. How then will they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how are they to believe in him of whom they have never heard? And how are they to hear without someone preaching? And how are they to preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet for those who preach the good news. How beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news. Guys, God calls us to do a lot of things. He calls us to take care of the orphans and the widows. He calls us to cherish our wives, and for wives to serve your husbands. He calls us to raise up our children. He calls us to love our neighbors more than ourselves. He calls us to seek him. And he calls us to share the gospel and to make disciples among the nations. Guys, it's our calling. And we have to follow our calling with action. We become aware of these things. But being aware, it's now time to take action. So guys, I hope you got something out of that. And guys, as we always do, let's just go off with this. Whatever you say, whatever you do, and wherever you go, embrace a heart. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
share the love of God through missions was really the goal that he had for my life. That was his plan and his will. So I made the very scary decision of sending off my application to an organization called Adventures in Missions out of Georgia. They have a lot of different outreach programs. They do a lot of missions, and one of the missions that they do is an organization called World Race. And is what that is they send